This video is sponsored by DJI.
Here's a question for you. Can DJI's latest phone stabilizer keep up with very fast-paced action on a running track and me walking around some muddy fields? Well, today we're going to put the brand new DJI Osmo Mobile 7 series to the test. For the Osmo Mobile 7 series, DJI has upgraded the intelligent tracking, the battery life and the setup speed. So we thought, what better way to put this thing to the test than to firstly have me hiking with it and vlogging and doing all that sort of stuff, but also give it to Niall, who edits these videos and works for this business, and who is also a proper athlete. So the Osmo Mobile 7 series is designed to lock onto subjects quicker and be much easier to set up and use. And in the 7P's case, it has this multifunctional module that has a built-in fill light and a receiver for the DJI Mic Mini. That nearly fell over then. That strong gust of wind is also a great example of the stabilisation. You could barely see it on that footage, which is fantastic. Also, the 7P has a built-in extension rod, which is really handy for vlogging. As you can see, you can get more into your field of view. Oh, and it has 10 hours of battery life. So basically, all you need is your gimbal, your mic, your phone, and you can shoot pretty much anywhere. Oh, and by the way, everything you see in today's video is shot on DJI gear, apart from the studio stuff.
If you're wondering, the video for this video was shot on the iPhone 16 Pro Max's front-facing camera. And as you noticed, the start of this video didn't look very good at all. There's a weird white balance shift from me walking towards the camera to me standing in front of the camera. You'll see it. Go and watch it again once you've watched the rest of the video, but just bear that in mind. This is the quality from that camera.
Let's start with vlogging, because that's definitely my subject area. There's three things I look for in a vlogging setup. The first thing is stabilisation, and the good news is DJI is the best in the market at that. The stabilisation on the 7 series is just absolutely fantastic. The second thing is keeping yourself in frame, which is very difficult when you're walking along holding a camera and trying to watch where you're going. That's where the intelligent subject tracking on the 7P comes in. It just keeps me in the middle of that frame. If I move around, if I take my eye off the camera and start looking ahead, it's keeping me where I should be. So for framing, that's very important. Then the third thing might be the most important, actually. And the reason I was most excited about this Osmo Mobile 7P is audio quality. Now, hopefully you can hear the audio quality of this video right from the start was fantastic, and that's because of this, the DJI Mic Mini. It connects wirelessly to that multifunctional module on the front of the Osmo Mobile 7P, and you get this kind of audio, which for vlogging is just a lifesaver. The other thing that I love about DJI gear is how easy it is to use. So at the moment, I'm not using the intelligent tracking, but if I just press the trigger, it starts tracking my face, and we're away. Really straightforward. The other thing that is great about this is that multifunctional module's multifunction. So apart from the mic connection, you have the fill light as well. So if you need just a bit of light, if it's a bit dark, if it's dusk or something, or if you're filming in a car, you can turn it up and it gets really bright, and you can change the color temperature, and it charges your phone. So when you plug in the USB-C cable into that multifunctional module, it starts charging your phone, which means you don't have to worry about that either. Everything is just so easy. And when you're a vlogger, guys, this is so important. You don't want any stress. All you want is to focus on filming and talking. Oh, and there's something else the multifunctional module does. It has gesture control, which I won't do now because I'll stop filming, but basically you can do things like hold up your hand to start and stop filming, which again is just really convenient. And you may have noticed that the panning on this is very smooth. That's down to a new horizontal axis. Here's a good test for the DJI mic's noise cancelling capabilities. Very noisy person in a field with some kind of hedge trimmer. Anyway, as mentioned earlier, I'm not the fastest moving subject in the world when I'm hiking and vlogging. However, Niall is when he's on the running track. So I thought, let's give this gimbal to him and just see what it can do. There's two things that make sense in that scenario. The first thing is the gesture tracking. So rather than having to keep going over to the gimbal and press record, Niall can simply wave at it and get it to start recording and then do his thing. The second thing is that intelligent tracking. And it works if there's more than one person in the frame. So it will lock onto Niall and stay locked on no matter what's going on around him. Older gimbals and older intelligent tracking systems do struggle with fast moving subjects. And obviously your phone on its own doesn't have intelligent tracking tracking at all. So if you do that kind of thing, if you run around a track or you do any kind of strenuous activity where you want to film yourself and just keep yourself in frame and not worry about it, this is such a good solution. The other thing I want to do is show you how ridiculously easy this thing is to use. So that is the gimbal folded up. You start with your phone, which is in my pocket, and you take this little phone holder, which has a little icon here to tell you which way it goes. You pop that on like that. You take your multifunctional module and pop that on there via magnets, obviously. That then goes into your phone. In terms of the gimbal, it's so quick. Unfold, take your phone, magnets, it will then balance itself and you're away. And in terms of the little built-in tripod, you just pull it out. This is so easy. And then when you're finished, push your tripod back in like that, you unclip that, you then fold that down, bosh, done. That ease of setup isn't just great for someone like me who does loads of vlogging, it's brilliant for Niall, who can just get to the running track, get this thing set up very quickly and crack on. Equally, if you're a complete beginner, the DJI MIMO app has two things that are very useful. The first thing is scene recognition. So if you're at a party, for instance, it recognizes that's the fact and it gives you shooting suggestions and framing suggestions for that scene. And if you've shot loads of things, for instance, at your running track, and you want to create a very quick highlight reel, it will do that for you as well, which is great for very quickly getting things on social media. The Osmo Mobile 7 series has updated 3-axis hardware in there, which means it's very stable. So if I start running up this very rocky path, let's extend that like that. Here we go. Look at it. It's very, very stable. It's also very useful for shooting things like cars. So at the moment I have this BYD Seal, which is a press car, and to get some footage of it I've been using this gimbal and just getting those very smooth panning shots and using the extension rod to get that lovely panoramic sunroof. It makes the footage look 10 times better than it would be if you're walking around with a camera or a phone without a gimbal. And yes, I'm out of breath. Okay, let's get that fill light on. Nice. Okay, in summary, I think the DJI Osmo Mobile 7 series is fantastic for vlogging. The ease of setup, the stabilisation and the integration with the mic is the best thing about this for me. Equally, if you're someone like Niall who's very active, it works fantastically in those scenarios as well. And if you're a complete beginner, a complete novice, it doesn't matter. It's so easy to use and you have all of those intelligent scene selection and editing tools in the app. Once again, DJI have completely knocked it out of the park. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It makes a massive difference. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, you know where that button is. On that note, guys, we've just passed 200,000 subs. Thank you so much if you've contributed to that number. We're celebrating with a huge, and I mean massive, giveaway. To make sure you don't miss that, you need to be on my newsletter list. There's a link to that in the description. Oh, and if you want to see a review of the BYD Seal that I'm sitting in now and that was featured in this video, keep watching for a link.